All right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. We are live for the new moon in Gemini weekend astrology forecast for June 17th to the 18th, 2023. Going live on the 18th. Because I didn't make it to this yesterday. How are y'all doing? I'm just getting everything set up here. Oh, right. We good. Got my, you know, UA hat on. I got this necklace recently. Freaking love this necklace. Got it when I went up to Helen, Georgia. It's a obsidian, but it's an Apache Tears obsidian with a freaking dragon surrounding it, and it absorbs negativity apparently. Which I was like, huh, interesting. I have a whole character surrounded with that energy. I'll probably talk about that in a later video, some later stuff. But anyways, let's get this thing started. Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love. My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your astrology forecast for the new moon in Gemini this weekend of June 17th to the 18th of 2023. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. I know it's a little early. It's 9:33 at the moment here on the East Coast. So if you are here, I definitely appreciate it. If you guys watch the replay, the replay back, definitely appreciate it. It's been a while since I've gone live in general, and I don't know. I might do all of the like new moon and full moons as lives. The other thing I thought about though, is just going live on Sunday morning in general, because I really like Sunday morning. I think it'd be cool to actually go live on Sunday morning. That being said, I'm not always off from my day job Sunday morning, so I would want that to be something that's like continuous. You know what I mean? And actually sustainable. So I'm not really sure if that's something I'm going to implement immediately, or I could just do it whenever I have the Sunday off. Who knows? But in any event, I'm gonna wipe my glasses off real fast. So get this thing going. So we're going to be talking about the new moon in Gemini, of course. We're also going to be talking about Saturn, which has stationed retrograde. And there's a couple other aspects I wanted to talk about as well. We're also going to be drawing cards for all of the signs. And of course, I will have the overall oracle cards as well. And I've been wanting to do something for all of the individual signs anyways. I just haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to do. I don't know if it's going to be like a monthly thing, or I'm going to just wait until the sun actually goes into certain transits. So I may talk about, the sun in Cancer, what it means for each of the signs, and may start doing that for, whenever the sun ingresses into a new sign. So, all right. I can see clearly now. All right, guys. So let's get into this, right? So we're going to start. Let me share my screen, of course. We're going to start. All right, cool. Alrighty, guys. So we are going to start, of course, with June 17th, right? Now, I know this was yesterday, mind you, but the main thing that happened yesterday was the fact that Saturn did station retrograde. So, at the start of the day, we had that moon in Gemini at 17 degrees, right? And as we move this forward, you're going to see, like, pay attention to Saturn, right? Pay attention to when it goes red, okay? So bam. So by the time we hit the afternoon, by the time we hit early afternoon on the East Coast, late morning on the West Coast, Saturn stationed retrograde at 7 degrees, 12 minutes, right? Um, now, as you can see, it is still sextiling over to Jupiter, right? And Mercury, of course, is coming off of the square to Saturn, too. So now, what does Saturn retrograde in Pisces mean? Well, Saturn in Pisces was already kind of like on a vacation in many ways. It's definitely going into this more introspective kind of energy. When Saturn reached that spot, it's definitely a giant review period. it's sort of almost like getting reviewed by like the big bosses at work, right? This massive like yearly review, if you will. That's kind of what Saturn going into Pisces is. It's like a massive yearly review, but like on the spiritual front. Now, of course, Saturn's not going to be there for just a year. It's going to be there longer, but in the context of like, when the sun goes around, it's the last sign of the zodiac. So yeah, it's like this sort of yearly review. That's where Saturn is going. Now that it's retrograde though, right? This means that Saturn is definitely on vacation now. Saturn going into Pisces was almost sort of like taking over the resort in many ways, especially with Neptune having progressed into like these upper echelons of Pisces, right? And it's not going to go past 27 degrees either. But now that Saturn is retrograde, this is definitely going to give, first of all, time is definitely going to seem even slower. If you felt like things have been speeding up, time's actually going to slow down right now with Saturn in Pisces, retrograde. Time is definitely going to be off, right? So it's like if you are already not the most punctual person, you may feel even less inclined to be on time with Saturn retrograde in Pisces. It's really going to be sort of like this toss-up energy when it comes to that, right? So now, the positive thing with Saturn retrograde in Pisces is that when it comes to hard work and the things that we're building in our life, when it comes to the challenges, the battle of attrition in life, which Saturn definitely rules those energies, when it comes to that, being that it's retrograde now in Pisces, there is going to be a bit of a slack off. There's going to be a little bit of a reprieve when it comes to that. That being said, despite the fact that you're going to probably be feeling like you can put things off until the next day and kind of get away with it a little bit more, we can add Saturn retrograde in Pisces. If you're already a procrastinator, there's definitely going to be this propensity to want to procrastinate even more. And what I'm going to tell you, what I would recommend is that you actually do not procrastinate as much, because when Saturn does become direct, especially once it leaves shadow, you're going to see the fruits of your labor. So whenever Saturn goes retrograde, it's a great time to really get ahead on our work. It's really a great time to get ahead in our career and really work on those things. And even though we may not necessarily see the results and the fruits of our labor immediately while we're doing it, that's why Saturn retrogrades can be difficult. It's like you can put in the hard work and you can actually really go for things, but you're not really seeing the fruits of your labor until Saturn comes out of its shadow period. And I don't know exactly when that's going to be, but we can definitely take a look at that. So Saturn, 7 degrees, 12 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this to months, and I'm going to move this forward until Saturn comes direct. So it's going to go all the way back to 0 degrees, and then it's going to go direct in November. Hey, it's my birthday, November 17th. And then what is actually? No, it's actually going to be the day before. It's actually going to be the day before. It's because I'm a 24 degree Scorpio. Anyways, I digress. So we move this back forward, and then Saturn's at 4 degrees. Now it's at 8 degrees. So it's not going to come out of its shadow until next year. So days, keep moving forward, 7, 6. Okay, bam. So that's the moment. February 7th is going to be the day where Saturn officially comes out of shadow, at least down to the minute. Now, when it gets to 8 degrees, that's when it's like really, really out of that step. So bam. So next year, February 14th is going to be the day that Valentine's Day next year is going to be the day that Saturn comes out of its shadow. So from now until then, this is a time to, if you really want to get something done, if you really want to advance yourself as far as like your career and these work aspects, now is the time to really put in the extra time and the extra work, because you're going to start to you will see the fruits of your labor come next Valentine's Day. The moon will be in Taurus. Jupiter will be in Taurus too. Now, we also have the North Node on top of Chiron. So that's going to be kind of an interesting aspect. Because this definitely can be, that's the other part too. It's like if you don't put in the hard work and if you don't really believe in yourself, because like I said, the North Node was in Taurus, and if you don't value yourself, and then if you don't believe in yourself when the North Node comes on top of Chiron, there could be this propensity of where you may be like really, really hard on yourself. Why is it belief? Because you have the 1 plus the 6, which is 7. The 7 in numerology is Neptune energy. It is Pisces energy, right? And that's also the degree 7 that Saturn retrograde at. So we also have the harmonic of 8 degrees with Saturn and with Jupiter here at 8 degrees of Taurus, and they will be sextiling each other on this day too. So there's definitely going to be this element of like, if you really put in the hard work and you really believe in yourself, and if you really are about it, you will definitely see the fruits of your labor come next Valentine's Day, right? You have Mars will be on top of Pluto. We have the sun, which will be in Aquarius too. So there's definitely a lot of positive energy to this Saturn retrograde, that if we really take advantage of it, we can see ourselves in incredible places, right? Um, the North Node in Chiron is this sort of energy, is like you have wounding and you have these aspects to you, that these challenges, if you will, that may have knocked you down a few pegs in the past, right? Chiron was knocked down from godhood, right? Knocked down several pegs, right? But still made something of himself and still used that experience and that wisdom to, affect incredible change in a lot of people. So when it comes to this energy with this Northern Node and Chiron, there's definitely sort of this element where it's like, you know what? We can acknowledge what has happened to us. We can acknowledge our wounding. We can acknowledge these sort of traumas, if you will. But we could turn that into an actual superpower, right? There's another harmonic here. 1 plus 6 is 7. We have 2 plus 5 is 7 right here. So there's definitely a lot of harmonic and lining up energy with this. So that's going to be the Saturn retrograde in Pisces. Now, of course, you want to look at where it is in like your chart and stuff like that to see how it's really going to be playing out. I'm mostly going to be doing the sun signs for the actual new moon, but I may actually do like a later video drawing cards for what this Saturn retrograde in Pisces is going to mean for the 12 signs. So that could be a later video that I actually will do. So, and I'll cover all this stuff again. But as I said, with the Saturn retrograde, definitely going to be a time where, you know what, we can kind of relax a little bit. We can kind of chill out a little bit more because, like I said, timing is going to be off. There's going to be this propensity to want to relax more, but just don't take it too far. Too much of it. Like don't procrastinate too much. Don't be too lazy. In fact, if you want to go in the complete opposite direction and go balls to the wall, that's an option as well. But also don't burn yourself out either too. This is about finding that nice little balance, because you got to remember with Pisces, you have like the two fishes, and you got to find this nice balance between, rest and play, and you have to find this balance between like the light and the dark, if you will. You have to find this balance between like really putting yourself out there and doing these things and being active, and just knowing when it's time to chill, rest, and relax. So, if you could find that balance during this time, which will be harder because the South Node is going to be in Libra at this point, right? And the ruler of Libra, Venus, will be over at Capricorn. So even that is saying, and not only that, but it's at 27 degrees, which I want to say is America's Pluto degree. But so there's definitely going to be, like I said, this element, and it's sextiling Neptune, of course. But there's definitely going to be this element where it's like we can really get some awesome things done from now until February 14th, and we really will start to see the fruits of our labor come February 14th. We'll start to see it, especially as it progresses. Once the sun goes over the degree that Saturn retrograde at, which from this point, it'll be like, it's at 25. So it'll be like at the end of February, pretty much going into March, is when we'll see that actual conjunction happen. So, definitely, I think this will actually be a very positive Saturn retrograde. I think you guys will start to feel a little less pressure when it comes to these sort of things. And that's kind of the nice thing, because when you take off the pressure of Saturn, it's kind of like you're running with, it's like having Saturn direct is sort of like we're running with like a parachute, and there's causing some resistance, right? But now that Saturn is retrograde, the parachute comes off, and we can really, really propel ourselves forward. And yes, it does give us time to kind of chill out, maybe even walk, because sometimes walking with no resistance is faster than running with the resistance, right? But you don't necessarily have to walk the whole time. You can speed walk, you can run, you can sprint. Just find your groove and find your flow, and that's how you're really going to make it through this Saturn retrograde. But I probably will make another video in the future, going over this for the 12 signs and what it actually means. Now back to present day, right? So we had that Saturn retrograde, right? Now we're also gonna this is back to days here. Let me actually put this at, okay, let me go to the hours. Let me go here. And let's go to that new moon in Gemini, right? So that new moon in Gemini happened at 26 degrees, pretty much right at midnight here on the East Coast. So going into the new day. On the West Coast, it happened later in the evening for you guys. And like I said, it happened at 26 degrees of Gemini. This new moon was squaring Neptune. So last night, if you were feeling kind of in between worlds, if things seemed a little bit trippy last night, that is why, because we had all that energy going on at that time with the square. Now Neptune is in its home sign, right? Neptune was strong with this one, especially considering the fact that we're coming off of the moon squaring over to Saturn as well. Saturn won that battle, and we also have Mercury coming off of that square to Saturn. Saturn won that battle as well. So there's definitely this element where it's like we really want to have all the answers right now. We really want to have all the answers. But we have, because this sun and moon are in this youthful energy of Gemini, which is wanting answers, which is wanting to explore these curiosities that it has, wanting to create from this space, wanting to connect with certain people, especially with Juno here as well. That's why I didn't even make the video last night, because Juno does rule relationships and particularly marriages, and it's in the sign of the twins. So believe it or not, this new moon brought with it a lot of twin flame energy. That's not to say that any of you guys are. I have my opinions on twin flames and how I believe that there's only maybe 3 or 4 true, authentic twin flame pairs in the world at any given moment, because I think it's something that is so rare. And I think that is something that if there was more of it, than like true, authentic ones, then it would tear apart the world in many ways, just because the energy is so strong and so freaking powerful and potent. Now we can have twin flame, I guess, experiences, but it's sort of like having like a real jersey, like a real sports jersey, and like a replica jersey, right? So there are a lot of replica twin flame relationships, and some of you guys might find yourself in these sort of situations, especially with this new moon in Gemini. Now, some of you guys, if you met someone new around this time and you really think that they're the one, you might. Well, I would say proceed with caution. Why? Because it was squaring Neptune. So there's definitely this sort of like fantasy like atmosphere to this new moon. And the other reason why is because Venus is in Leo, yes. So it's wanting the passion and the fire as far as that sort of goes, and definitely wanting the romance, wanting to receive the romance of, like, some of you guys are wanting to receive the romance of your life right now. But it is in shadow and it's slowing down. So it's not necessarily, if you met someone during this time, if your first date happened to be yesterday during the new moon, hopefully you had a nice date. I would just say to proceed with caution. Because we definitely can get in our minds, especially with all this energy squaring the Neptune energy, we can definitely get it in our minds and our heads that, oh, this is the one. They have to be the one, and we're gonna. And it's almost like we want to force them into like this weird little box too. That this has to be this way. They are the one, and this is what we've been waiting our whole lives for. Temper your expectations. That's not to say that you can't have fun or enjoy this individual, but temper your expectations with this, right? This new moon in Gemini, 26 degrees, 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 It's the number in numerology of Saturn and Capricorn energy, right? So as far as that goes, the only energy that we have at Capricorn is Pluto retrograde at the edge of Capricorn. And of course, we had Saturn, which just went retrograde in Pisces. That's why I said you kind of want to temper your expectations when it comes to this. Now, if from a non-relationship aspect of this, we can look at this as like, this squaring over to Neptune, this new moon did, is that this can just be our expectations in general. Gemini is an interesting energy because it is a dualistic energy. It is the messenger. It's also the trickster energy too. We have to remind ourselves of that it's just the trickster. Gemini, in many ways, is sort of like, and if you're a Gemini, well, first of all, happy birthday if you're a Gemini. But it is sort of like a court jester kind of energy, and that's not to say that the court jest is not. That's not to say that it's a bad thing to be the court jester. But that's the other thing too, is that the court jester like can be really brilliant, too. The court gesture can be really brilliant in bringing things to light. And that's the funny thing too, is that the Gemini will tell, it's a truth telling kind of energy too. But a lot of times people don't necessarily take Gemini seriously, and they think that Gemini is kind of naive and stuff. That's the thing about it. Gemini can actually get away with telling the truth over other signs. When Gemini tells the truth, people kind of just scoff and laugh. It's like, oh, Gemini, you're crazy. Oh, you're funny, right? But if another sign tries to tell the truth, like another air sign, like a Libra or Aquarius, people like get all up in arms about it. You know what I mean? So it's like, how dare you say that, right? But Gemini can say it, and everyone just writes them off as crazy. This is why Geminis make the best rappers, in my opinion. Geminis and Aquariuses make the best rappers. Air signs in general. So I'm not gonna lie. It's a Scorpio. I'm a little jelly. I mean, I know we have some, but like I'm still a little jelly of Gemini as far as that goes. But you guys are Scorpio's eighth house too. So there's like a interesting mutual respect between Gemini and Scorpio. So, but yeah, this new moon in Gemini is giving a rise to new thoughts, new thought paradigms, right? Especially when it comes to what we commit ourselves to, what we commit our lives to, what we commit our time to. Especially because, like I said, we have, all these energies here in Gemini. That's what this is really asking us to do. Is like, what are we committing ourselves to? What kind of thought patterns are we committing ourselves to? Recognizing our thought patterns and recognizing, hey, is this actually beneficial? Is this going to move me forward? Is this going to propel me forward? Is this going to help me help the collective? These are the sort of things that are going to be kind of coming to mind, and we're going to be asking ourselves. And with the square to Neptune, of course, it's like, you know what? Some of you guys have been working on certain things, certain projects, maybe career aspects, maybe stuff like that, and you're not necessarily seeing the results that you want to. This new moon in Gemini is going to bring about a fresh perspective, so you don't give up. I feel like there's definitely this energy where a lot of people are on the precipice of giving up on something before it really becomes something great. It's like you planted a seed, if you will, and you're waiting for that first sapling to come through. And like the day before it actually comes through, you dig it up and you give up. Like that's not what you want to do right now. You want to keep it moving forward, beloved. That, despite the fact that, yeah, Saturn is retrograde. Yes, Pluto is back in the Capricorn. So in many ways, we're kind of going back into this old world. Yes, Venus is moving slow in Leo, right? Yes, all those things are happening, right? Yes, there's still the semi-square of this new moon to Venus, right? Because they've been a semi-square for a while. So yeah, there's definitely been some challenging energies, right? That being said, this new moon is going to offer, as I said, this fresh perspective. It's going to give rise to new thought paradigms. And if we really take this new refreshed thought paradigm and propel that forward and use that to manifest in conjunction with our actions, then we really can see some amazing change in our life. But it's not going to come easy. It's going to be a bit of a struggle. We're about to go into all these retrograde planets, right? Saturn is retrograde. Neptune's going to come retrograde soonish. Chiron is going to come retrograde. Things are about to start to kind of slow down. this is going to be the time that now that we don't have all this resistance per se on all these active planets, it's going to be the time where we can really move things forward. We're not going to have all the pressure, you know what I mean? And pressure does make diamonds, right? But when that pressure comes off, what are you doing? Are we just going to be sitting around and relaxing and not doing too much? Or we're going to do something to propel things forward, right? So we have that new moon, like I said, squaring over to Neptune. Now, as far as Sunday goes, the moon is going to move into Cancer, right? The moon's going to move into Cancer. It's earlier in the day, right? So right now, as at this moment in time, the moon is at 1 degree of Cancer, right? So it's going to make the trine over to the south node and sextile the north node, right? So this is going to definitely be an energy where, like, coming into Sunday, it's going to be a little bit more of an emotional day with the moon being in its home sign. It's feeling good as far as being in its home sign. And, yeah, it's going to make, like I said, that sextile over to the north node. So there's definitely some opportunity to really feel our worth today, especially since it's at 2 degrees, and 2 in numerology is the moon. It is the Cancer energy. So there's definitely like this opportunity for us to actually like really feel our worth today. And even with the trine over to the south node, there definitely can be this elements like where we can even feel the transformation of some of these maybe these deeper desires or these darker desires, essentially with the south node there. You don't so like when it comes to the north node and south node energy, right? A lot of times people are like, always go to the north node, avoid the south node. But people ultimately do go to the south node from time to time, right? People do go to it from time to time. I'm gonna move this just so, in case anyone starts to comment, I can actually see the comments because I'm like kind of moving this thing around. So, but here's the thing though: a lot of times we have to go to the south node to know where the north node is, because you can't have one without the other. So that's really what happens. That's the purpose of the south node. Its purpose is, in many ways, to direct us back to the north node. So with that south node in Scorpio, yes, there's going to be this desire for some edge. There's going to be this desire to find some sort of so it's interesting too with Mars and with Mars being the traditional ruler of Scorpio. So it's like Scorpio can be hot and cold at the same time. So there's definitely going to be this element where we are looking for some of the heat, but some of the heat at areas where we may be feeling cold, right? We're definitely going to be looking for that. And if we push the boundaries too much, that's when we really sink into sort of like those darker desires of the Scorpio energy and find ourselves in some pretty weird and auspicious places, right? But in many ways, we have to go through the south node to understand the north node. So in many ways, you have to go to those weird back alleyways in order to see that you don't necessarily belong in those back alleyways, right? Okay. This isn't the time when the North Node is in Scorpio. That is the time to explore the depths of these relationships. That's when it's time to explore the depths of the occult energy and what's like the secretive energy. That's when it's time to do that. But the South Node is here right now, right? So that's not really the time to be doing that. But everyone generally finds himself when the South Node is in Scorpio in those weird back alleyways, right? But we go into these places is how we find the North Node, right? How we actually see the opportunity here. So it's like, yeah, there's going to be this, and that's going to be short. It's not like it's going to be that long of a transit. It's just going to be like this little blip. So it may even just be more sort of like a thought, maybe thinking that, hey, maybe this will be exciting. Hey, maybe this will give me a little bit of a rise, especially with the moon in Cancer and with the sun on top of Juno. Some of you guys, maybe this could be a relationship aspect where some of you guys like, maybe I really can heal that person, especially, Cancers, that's like their toxic trait, thinking that they can heal the person they're with, even though they're toxic as fuck. So like, even though the other person's toxic as fuck, that's like Cancer's like trait, right? So you got that as well. Now, as you move that moon forward throughout the day, It will make the trine over to Saturn. That's going to be later in the evening at 7 degrees. It's going to do that. Jupiter is also going to move to 7 degrees too. So that's actually really cool. You have like this nice energy with the sun, well, not the sun, excuse me, with the moon trining over to Saturn, and both of those energies sextiling Jupiter. Definitely a great opportunity to really feel our worth and to really feel our value, especially from a spiritual aspect. This whole weekend with the new moon moving into Saturn retrograde and all this sort of stuff, it's the universe saying like, yo, here's your superpowers, here's your spiritual mission, right? We want you to take some time with this spiritual mission. We want you to take some time to kind of recollect and to really kind of figure this thing out. This is a great opportunity right now that the universe is giving us where we can recommit ourselves to our spiritual mission and to realize our purpose in many ways, right? So honestly, beautiful weekend as far as the energies go. But it's sort of like the universe is like, it's sort of like this, right? We're being given a test, right? We went through like a review period. We're giving a test, but right now we're in the review period for the test. The test doesn't happen until Saturn comes direct, and it's still in the actual like shadow zone. By the time it comes out of shadow, like I said, which will be next year in February 14th, that's when, like, leading up to it, that's when we're actually like, that's the actual test period, right? When Saturn actually comes direct and still going through that shadow. Right now, we're in the review period. So the universe is actually giving us the opportunity right now to review where things have gone up to this point, right? To recommit ourselves to our spiritual mission, right? Recommit ourselves to why we came down here in the first place, and to take those experiences that we have collected and to really build from that place. This is going to be a time where you actually can be more creative. This is going to be a time where you can actually take more chances. This is going to be a time where you can definitely kind of play around with this energy a little bit more. The universe is actually going to allow us this time. And we get this until February 14th. So that's kind of the nice thing. That's kind of the fun thing about when things slow down, is that we can actually like kind of pause and kind of experiment a little bit. This is going to be a time where we can kind of actually experiment with our path, but still recommitting to our spiritual journey. So utilize this time. It's a beautiful time to actually get down, get a little messy, experiment, and to do something different, to do something fun, to enter like this new thought paradigm with that new moon in Gemini, of course, which will culminate into the full moon in Gemini when we hit Sag season, right? But overall, very nice weekend as far as these energies go. And even though we will come up against some challenges, right? I still need to talk to you guys about the freaking Lionsgate that's going to be coming up and how that's a major aspect this year, especially with all the other energies around it that are going to be shifting and moving. Oh, hey, Willow, how are you doing? I'm glad that you can make it. But yeah, like I said, I think this is overall going to be a very positive weekend. I really do. So, yeah, that's really it as far as the transits go themselves. I'm going to, of course, touch on what this means for each of the individual signs too. But first, what I want to do is I'm going to draw an oracle card for the entire collective, and then we will get into what this means for the individual signs. I got my CBD sparkling water here today. Alrighty. What do we have here? So, actually, I think I can just go ahead and stop sharing the screen. So, all right, what do we have for the collective for this new moon in Gemini? What do we have for the collective? I have the card of soul time. Let's see if I can actually get it to focus. Maybe not. It's very bright, so I don't know if. Oh, there it is. Kind of. You can kind of see it, right? Soul time. The frequency of soul time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge. What did I say about new paradigms? one that embraces the concept that while the corporal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. Ooh, is that not a new moon in Gemini, Saturn, retrograde, and Pisces energy? Yeah, time is an illusion. Time is an absolute illusion. You are timeless. You are limitless. You have infinite potential. And this whole weekend is giving us a great opportunity to really embrace all of the gifts that the universe has given us, the gifts of manifestation, the gift to create the life of our dreams and what we really want. It's not going to be easy, like I said, because this new moon's squared over to Neptune, but still, it's still acknowledging the infinite sparks of the divine that we all are and how we really can change our life for the better. It doesn't always seem easy because there's always going to be challenges. We may blame others, we may blame ourselves. There's always going to be extenuating circumstances. And how is it that we all are infinite sparks of divine, but what if what that person wants conflicts with what I want? And then there's sort of like this clash. Who's the universe going to bless more? That's when it comes down to knowing. Let's say this is Gemini energy, so it's all about communication. So there's going to also be sort of like the beginning of a realignment of teams, sort of like a realignment of who we really associate ourselves with. So the people that we do surround ourselves with, their actions and what they're wanting to manifest and their dreams and stuff like that line up with ours too, and that there are puzzle pieces together. Remember, like we're all our different puzzle pieces, right? We all are unique on our own way, but we are also connected. But are you kind of trying to fit your puzzle piece in a place where it really shouldn't fit? It's because you really feel like you should be in that situation or that job or with that person. This new moon is going to give us this great opportunity to really reflect on all of this sort of stuff. So by the time that the full moon comes, that's when a lot of the realignment is going to be happening, because full moons are releases. So this is sort of like the beginning of that sort of realignment, right? So that's the card for the collective. Supporting card for the collective was the card of belief. Yeah, definitely believing in ourselves, believing that we are actually the infinite sparks of the divine that I keep saying that we are those radiators of love, and that yes, this physical body has its benefits. It has a lot of tools and everything like that. I think what's happening, especially with a lot of spiritual people, is that we can sort of downplay the power of these bodies because we're like, oh, like I'm this infinite being and stuff like that. Why am I restricted by this body? But there's still power in restriction as well. There's still power in this body. These bodies have this is incredible technology, this body. It really is. I need to talk about that as far as like the technology of this body and how compared, I think this is the most advanced technology that we have on the planet. I really do, like this body. But the thing is that they will have you believe that it's not. They will have you believe that it's not. So it's like we have incredible tools. The fact that we are timeless and that we can really manifest anything that we want, and that we have these bodies which are designed, these beautifully designed vehicles to bring these things into physical manifestation and reality, right? So let's go ahead and pop onto the next section where I'm going to draw signs for each of the signs, or draw cards for each of the signs. So, all right. So we are going to start. With. Let's start with the birthday people. We'll start with Gemini. So this is going to be for Gemini Sun, and we'll do Gemini Rising as well. I was going to mainly just do the Sun, but yeah, this is for Gemini Sun and Gemini Rising. So this new moon, of course, is happening in your first house. So this is a new and refreshed you. This is your birthday period. So this is a new and refreshed you. This is going to be you entering in sort of this new paradigm as far as like who you are, how you express yourself, right? And like I said, when it comes to this realignment, you may find some people, not necessarily agreeing with the new you. screw them, right? Especially if you are really on your path, if you are going towards like the North Node energy, if that's where you've been going to, which the North Node, of course, has been in your 12th house. So there's definitely a spiritual element to this too, right? So especially if you've been more going towards that route, then you're recognizing your value and stuff like that, and valuing yourself more. Gemini, ironically, almost taking themselves a little bit more seriously as far as that goes. If you've been going towards that energy and you start to make changes as far as who you are and your new paradigm, and people don't necessarily agree with it, screw up. Now, if you've been going the other route and you've been more into the South Node energy and not really going towards that North Node energy, then you might want to actually like listen to some people. Maybe, if people are trying to help you as far as that goes, then allow them to help you too. But yeah, this is going to be an opportunity for you to have a new sense of self. A new sense of self. So, Gemini, let's see what we got going on for you guys for this new moon. Gemini, I have the card of the Empress. So, yeah, this is going back to the fact that we have the North Node, Jupiter, and Uranus in your freaking 12th house. So yeah, we had the Empress. This is about knowing who you are, expressing who you are. This is all about that Taurian energy, valuing who you are. Especially since it's your 12th house, there's like a spiritual element to this. I also got the King of Wands. Oh, Gemini, you guys have a lot of power right now. Gemini, if you really take advantage of this energy, especially like I said, with that Saturn that has gone retrograde in Pisces now, too. If you really take advantage of this energy, you really can find yourself leaps and bounds next year from where you are right now, because there's a lot of manifestation energy here to really these are two incredible, beautiful cards. I really don't know what other way to say it, Gemini. You're going to be killing it. That's all I really can say, Gemini. You're killing it. It seems like you had a really good birthday period. And I think we all needed this too. I think we all needed Gemini season because things were getting, and things are still very crazy, very wild. What about that? But the Gemini energy kind of brought a little bit of light energy, a little bit of Joker energy, you know what I mean? But we all needed that. So this is a good time, to have a good laugh and to kind of just, not take things super, super seriously. But Gemini, this is a great new moon for you to really have like this new, refreshed perspective on yourself and on life in general, amazing stuff. So good for you, Gemini. Good for you. We are going to move. What direction am I going to move in? So we'll go from Gemini. We'll go in the opposite direction. So Gemini, now we're going to go to Taurus. All right. So Taurus, this energy is happening in your second house, right? So of course you are the natural second house. So this energy for you, Taurus, is really going to be about offering this new perspective, this fresh perspective as far as like your values, right? Now, of course, with Taurus being that Gemini is your second house, what you value the most in many ways are conversations. What you value are having is like connecting with certain people, and you value curiosity. You value exploration as far as that stuff goes. So now, of course, we do have Jupiter in your sign, which is giving you a nice little boost. You have the North Node in your sign as well. You also have Uranus in your sign, which is definitely shaking some things up, right? So let's see what this new moon in Gemini is saying for the Tauruses out there, being that it's in your second house. We have the card of the Lovers. What is going on with this reading so far? All right, we have the card of the Lovers. We also have the Knight of Swords in reverse. Interesting. We have the Knight of Swords in reverse. I think this Knight of Swords is sort of like the Uranian energy that's kind of shaking things up. But then we also have the Lovers card here too. Taurus, what I'm really seeing for you guys is that this is definitely be a very powerful time to really get on the same page with some other people. I think this new moon is going to offer like this nice fresh perspective. So if you are in a relationship, Taurus, and you've been kind of at odds with a lover or a partner, this new moon is going to give you a great opportunity for y'all both to get on the same page and realize you guys are probably honestly communicating the same thing but in different ways, and just the simple different way of communicating is the reason why it's not working. Now, what I like about this Knight of Swords is that he's very calm, right? So different Knight of Swords kind of bring different energies. Usually you see the Knight of Swords and they're like charging forward and they're like kind of very rash. And it's like as soon as they get the orders from the king, they rush, right? But this one, he's calm and collected, but it's reversed. So there hasn't really been this sort of energy where you've been sort of calm and collected when it comes to these conversations, especially with the lover. I want to draw one more card. Yeah, we have the Five of Swords in reverse. There's no need to feel like someone's taking advantage of you or taking away from you. This is a simple misunderstanding. You can really actually get on the same page with someone today, this whole weekend, really, and it will actually bring about some renewment in your relationship. Now, if you're single, this could be just simply a situation. It doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship. But it could just be another person. It could just be a situation in general where you may feel like something is being taken away from you, but that's actually not the case. This is going to, like I said, offer like this new, fresh perspective where you just kind of have to alter the way that you're looking at things and alter the way that you're thinking about this whole situation too. Well, Taurus, I overall think that this will be very positive for you. I just think that there's been a little bit of miscommunications. And like I said, this probably has to do with the fact that Uranus is also in your sign, just shaking things up. And whenever we have the North Node in our sign too, it's like the universe is really shining its light on us via that energy. It's saying like, to really embrace these sort of higher aspects and the higher qualities and the sort of exalted sort of qualities of our sign. And it's not always easy to exhibit the exalted qualities of our sign. So Taurus, you've been doing a great job so far. It's about to come into Aries. So this transit for you is about to end and it's about to go into your 12th house, which so it's going to be the review period for you. And at the end, anytime something's in the 12th house, it's like a review period kind of aspect, and the universe sort of going over like what you have learned and stuff. So just keep it moving forward. Don't sweat the small stuff. I think that's the other thing too that I'm hearing is like don't sweat the small stuff. Learn to laugh a little bit, and you'll be good. You'll be good. All right. So Aries. This is going to be in your third house. Let me go ahead and get this going. Aries, this is literally just new thought, right? This is new thought paradigms, like literally. You may even find yourself in a new location. Some of you guys may be whenever you have like third house energy, some of you guys may find yourself like in a new place, maybe like a new apartment or a new house, but generally nothing that's like too far away. That'd be more Sag energy where you're like moving to like another state or another country. So Aries, some of you guys may find yourself actually moving during this new moon or thinking about moving, thinking about it's like, maybe I'll just move across town. But even simply moving across town can open up a whole new fresh perspective on things too. So some of you guys may actually be getting into new relationships with that Juno conjuncting this new moon as well. But be careful too, because you do have Neptune in your 12th house, which squared that energy. So there's definitely going to be this sort of like spiritual element to it. And since it's Aries too, you guys like to rush into things anyways too. So I would definitely say when it comes to the relationship aspect, if you're single and you are dating someone and you think that they're the one, I would definitely say just to be a little bit more careful. Just to be a little bit more careful, be a little bit more wary, proceed with caution. I'm not saying to go blow it up and that it's not the real deal, because it very well could be. But just be a little wary of that, right? Let's see what card that we have for the Aries. All right. Aries. Oh, look at that. Oh, we have the X Factor card. We have the 10 of Wands. Aries, this is definitely a time to not rest on your laurels. This is definitely a time to not rest on your laurels. The 10 of Wands, what I like about this card, and this card I have a new perspective on this card too, because I follow David Palmer, the Leo King, and he also has had Rich Lopp on his platform High Vibe, and they actually did a video where they talked about the 10 of Wands, right? And it offers such a fresh perspective on it that I always thought it was sort of like this you're overworked kind of energy. And it's not even so much that you're overworked. It's like you've been working hard and to keep working hard. You are building muscle. You are building strength, Aries, right now. This new moon is offering this fresh perspective where it's like you don't want to rest on your laurels. You don't want to just drop everything right now, per se. You want to keep going. You want to keep moving. Sure, maybe even put on some more, like put on some more weight, kind of give you even some more resistance, right? This is someone was like, imagine like if you're like building a house and you're carrying like a bunch of like sticks and whatever like that, and occasionally you drop one or whatever, you have to go back and pick one up, But we also don't know how many times that they dropped it. I have another really great metaphor for this. Now, some of you guys know, I mean, you guys know that I'm a huge anime nerd. I literally have this hat on right now, right? There's a show called Dr. Stone, and there's this one scene in the show. It's a really great anime, honestly. I definitely recommend that you watch it. But there's this one awesome scene in it where there's these two characters. They're sisters. One of them has been sick, and one of them is obviously not sick, but just trying to take care of her. And every single day, she like would run to like this hot spring, gather this healing water, if you will, and try and bring it back to her sister. And there are times where and she has like this whole like thing attached to her, and she's like running through the woods. There are times where she tripped, where she fell, where she had to go back and get more water, but she did this every single day, no matter how hard the journey was. And in many ways, Aries, that's kind of what you're doing. Some of you guys have been doing something and it's almost like muscle memory now, and some of you guys are on the precipice of giving up. Do not give up. Do not give up. You are building so much strength right now, you don't even realize it. But the moral of that metaphor is that no matter how many times she had to make, no matter how far that journey was, and no matter how many times that she might have tripped or fell or dropped something, she picked it back up and she kept moving forward. So this is going to be a time for you, Aries, to pick it up and keep moving forward. We also, if you do that, you're going to have victory with the Six of Wands too. So this is definitely a time to not throw in the towel and to realize that all your hard work will indeed pay off. Not everyone is willing to do this sort of energy. Not everyone's willing to keep going, even when it's like really, 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 really hard. But if you do that, Aries, you will find victory. And we even have this card of Temperance. So there's definitely this sort of alchemical nature to this as well. I wish it would I need to figure out better ways. Like I like the lighting on me, but then when I have like the actual cards, like you can't really oh, maybe that's a kind of a decent way to do it, right? Kind of. I wonder if I do that. Anyways, I would love for it to actually adjust, but we have the card of Temperance here too. So there's definitely this sort of alchemical nature to this as well. So this is a perspective of like shifting it from like, I've been doing all this hard work, I don't know if it's paying off, transform, alchemize that thought pattern to me doing all this hard work is actually going to lead to victory. I'm actually winning right now in life. So Aries, once you go from this mindset of, oh, I got to keep doing this. This is so hard. This isn't working, to this is so hard, but I'm doing it. I'm winning. So that's really what this is. It's like adopting a winning mindset for you, Aries, right? All right. Now we move on to Pisces. Pisces. Well, this is happening for you in your fourth house, Pisces. So there's definitely going to be this fresh new perspective when it comes to the emotional nature of things. This could be a great opportunity for you to new moon in Gemini. Some of you guys may actually be welcoming new members to your family. Some of you guys maybe just had kids actually. So that can be something that just happened. Maybe you guys are welcoming new kids to your home, but this could be also an opportunity to sort of refresh the sanctuary of your home. Maybe bring in some new plants, bring in some new energy. Some of you guys may be doing some renovations and stuff like that. But that's what this could really be too. So also it'll be a great idea. It'll be a really great opportunity for Pisces if you are married or if you're in a relationship and you're living with someone, to have like a really nice just date at home, cook some nice food, or just do however y'all want to do, but cook some nice food, get the flowers, get candles, Netflix and chill, if you will. Great opportunity to do that. But there's going to be, like I said, this refreshed aspect when it comes to your home. Now, if your home life is a little chaotic, this could be the opportunity for you to really fix that sort of energy, to really perceive it a little bit differently, and maybe you realize that it's not as chaotic. Now, if it actually really is chaotic and stuff like that, this could be a time where you might need to go actually seek some help out. Pisces, call your mothers, call your fathers. And it is Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. But yes, call your mothers as well. Maybe it's your mom that'll actually give you like the fresh perspective that you need. So, all right, Pisces, what do we have for you? Pisces, we have the Four of Swords. We have the Four of Swords. Man, I really wish that it would so I have to like get like really close up to it in order for y'all to really see. So we have the Four of Swords. Yeah, there's definitely going to be this sense where you kind of want to like kind of sleep and rest. It kind of makes sense. Saturn is in your sign. Neptune is in your sign. All these energies are being squared to the new moon in Gemini in your fourth house. So Pisces especially is wanting to rest a lot more. When Saturn went into Pisces, it's like all Pisces have been kind of getting their ass kicked since Saturn has gone into this space. And as Saturn's finally like chilling out, Pisces is going to like, this is like a nice sigh of relief for you, Pisces. We also have the Page of Coins or the Page of Pentacles. I'll see. I just have to hold it closer. I figured it out finally. So yeah, we have the Page of Coins also in reverse. And then I'm going to draw one more card. Yeah, we have the High Priestess in reverse too. There's definitely this sort of element where you're kind of just chilling out and resting and kind of just, this is a time where you need to trust the flow of the universe. If Pisces, if you're trying to force things right now, this is not going to be a good time for you. The High Priestess is all about trusting our intuition, but being in reverse is the whole aspect where we don't necessarily trust our intuition. That Page of Coins is also wanting to sort of manifest certain things, but it is a page. It's still a student of manifestation. So this is going to be a time where the universe is asking you to kind of chill out, rest a little bit, recalibrate. Pisces, a lot of you guys might just sleep a lot this weekend, which you guys are really good at sleeping anyways. But yeah, Pisces, this is a time to kind of chill out, trust the flow of the universe, not force things, and just realize that you are still a student of manifestation, at least with this Page of Coins card. And Pisces, Pisces are super freaking magical. They manifest things without even like realizing it. But you have to understand when it comes to manifestation and bringing things into physical reality, that's Taurus energy. So for you, that's your third house. So it really has to do with your mindset, So the new moon in Gemini overall is giving a new, fresh mindset, but it's also your fourth house. So it's like you have to feel at home too. You have to feel like you manifesting that thing is going to actually give you like sort of like this home sanctuary kind of feel. So if you're not necessarily trusting things right now, if you're trying to force some things right now, take some time to rest, relax, recalibrate, and then move forward. So, all right. Now we are on to Aquas, the Aquariuses. This is going to be in your fifth house. It's going to be in your fifth house. So, love, creativity, passion, right? Of course, you oppose the natural fifth house of Leo, right? But this new moon is definitely going to bring about this refreshed perspective and communication when it comes to your heart and actually embracing what's in your heart and expressing that thing. All right. Aquarius is another sign that might have gotten married over the weekend too. And married could be to different things. It doesn't necessarily have to be to a person. Maybe you got married to a new job. Maybe you got married to just simply a new experience, right? Maybe you got married to a new house, place, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, like, say, a person, right? All right. Aquarius, what do we have for you, being that this is in your fifth house? I'm also hearing passion projects with other people. Since this is Gemini, since this is twin energy, there's going to be an opportunity for you to really connect with people on different projects and really bringing things forward. So, Aquarius, what do we have for you guys? Oh, Aquarius, we had the Death card. So there's definitely some sort of transformation. Something is ending. We also have the Fool card, and followed by the Page of Cups. So this is actually very positive. What's ending is you being inauthentic and not being yourself, and really actually accepting sort of like the Page of Cups. Like I said, it's upright, right? So whenever I see pages, I see it as like a student, you know. I feel like Aquariuses are finally actually going to start, you know, not caring so much about what other people think of themselves, which is awesome. You need to kind of be more like a Leo. And then I think what happens with Aquariuses is that Aquariuses are so unique, you know, in general, but then they can get caught up in what other people think of them and how other people feel about them. Aquarius, you're casting that aside, Aquarius. This is actually very positive. You're going to stop caring about what other people think. And you actually are going to truly embrace and express who you are at the core. And people may see you as a bit foolish. People may think that you're a little crazy and getting off the rails, but this is what's going to actually make you super freaking powerful and what's going to help you change the world. Because you doing that is actually going to inspire so many people. Aquarius, you can't get caught up on giving water to the same people all the time and then trying to expect a different result. That's the definition of insanity. This is Aquarius finally stepping into their power, Aquarius finally stepping into their truth and realizing that, hey, I don't have to be, I don't have to confine myself to be this person just to appease others around me. I can actually be my true self and authentic, and I will attract the people in my life that really matter and that really care for me. Aquarius, this is actually probably one of the more positive drawings of the death card that I've seen. It's definitely the death of something and a transformation, but man, this is actually like you're leveling up, Aquarius. Congratulations, you're leveling up. Yeah, you're gonna stop caring. Now, don't be afraid, Aquarius, if people like are start to be like weirded out that you're pulling your energy back too. I think that's the other thing too. Is like there may be this sort of hesitation where like now that you're pulling back your energy and you're actually going to be really be yourself, whatever like that. Some people were like, "Oh, you were never like this." It's like, well, I was always like this. I was just trying to fit in to make y'all feel better. Aquarius, make yourself feel better first before you worry about everyone else. Because if you're not really on it, if you're not really feeling good, then you can't actually deliver the goods. They may not get it now, but they'll get it later. All right, so we got Capricorn, Capricorn, Capricorn. This is going to be in your 6th house. So a new, refreshed perspective when it comes to your day-to-day reality, your work life, you know, those fun Virgo things, right? Some of you guys may have new pets. Some of you guys may have gotten a new pet over the weekend, so that's pretty cool. The other thing, Capricorn. Ha 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 ha. So here's the thing about pets too. So we all have like these physical pets, but we also have pets in other realms, sort of like familiars. So Capricorn, some of you guys got like a new familiar, right? Which is pretty freaking cool, right? I think we all have different familiars, right? So one of my familiars is actually a cheetah. So, well, he's like a cheetah hybrid. So, all right, Capricorn, what do we have for you? New, refreshed perspective in the 6th house energy. So, duties, our day-to-day life. Oh, a card just kind of flew out. And I saw it too. It's the 8 of Wands. So there's definitely some rapid development here. We also have we have the 7 of Swords here as well. We have the Seven of Swords, and then we have the Ace of Wands in reverse. Capricorn, who did you piss off? I think really I think what's happening here actually, Capricorn, with this energy is that you've been moving so fast with the Eight of Wands. You've been moving so fast that you haven't been able to even see that you're kind of being robbed right now. You're kind of being robbed blind, but you've been moving so fast in your day-to-day reality that there's this sort of element where you can definitely feel like you're being taken advantage of. And that's the reason why you can't manifest with the Ace of Wands in reverse, because it's like the wand's like simply just not working, right? So it's like you're trying to manifest this really awesome life for yourself, and things have been moving so fast, but you kind of feel like you're being robbed. This is literally just Pluto honestly going back into your sign, because you finally got all this reprieve. Because Capricorn, you've had all this like tough energy like over like just this last little bit when all the Pluto's there, when Saturn was there too. So it's like, but you're starting to realize that hey, it's sort of like it's kind of almost like Aquarius, where you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, but it's like it's just not firing. Like Ace of Wands in reverse is like trying to get a lighter to like light, and it's just not lighting. The fuel is empty. There's nothing more in there, so it's time to throw that lighter away and move on. Yeah, we have the Nine of Wands right here. So there's definitely this element where you're feeling like you have to defend yourself for some reason, but she is standing on one of the wands. Yeah, you're feeling like you have to defend yourself for some freaking reason. Capricorn, I think this is just gonna be a time where you need to kind of just like reach out and just realize, like, you may be feeling like you're under attack, but this is offering a new, fresh perspective, right? So I think it would be great for Capricorns to really talk it out with someone this weekend. Maybe talk it out with the lover or a really good friend or something like that, so they can actually kind of. This is probably someone that knows that you've been getting robbed blind, has probably been able to see it more than you, but you're kind of stuck in it. Now, if you're the one robbing people blind, then you are also realizing that this whole lighter is not working anymore. I think what's happened is that people could be taking their power back from you if this is the opposite way as well. So some of you guys, if you're like business owners or stuff like that or whatever, and things aren't necessarily working the way that they always have, it's almost like you're robbing from yourself at this point too, by not acknowledging that things have shifted and things are changed. And my cat's running around like he's crazy. So it's a very interesting energy, Capricorn. I think this is just going to be an opportunity for you guys to really talk it out with someone, trying to figure out, kind of get to the bottom. Like, why is my day-to-day reality like this? This could definitely be a great time to kind of journal and kind of get these thoughts out on paper and stuff too. Yeah, overall, there's definitely this sort of element where you're kind of feeling robbed, or maybe you're doing the robbing. I think ultimately it's like you're robbing yourself of the life that you really want to create, um, by like you almost feeling like just moving fast and just doing things is enough. But it's like, no, you have to actually recognize what like you truly value, what's truly worth it for you. That's like all this fifth house energy that you're going through with the North Node, Jupiter, and Uranus there too. I think that's what's happening, is that Uranus is shaking up a lot of things when it comes to that aspect too. And then you have the North Node and Jupiter there, which is expanding everything. So it's like all of that time that you have put into something is like a lot of that stuff is starting to manifest, and you're starting to realize that maybe it's not as beautiful as you thought it was going to be. But this is going to still offer like that fresh perspective on, okay, how can I change that? How can I truly, really value myself? I'm going to give you guys one more card too. We have the Star card in reverse. So yeah, there's definitely, I keep drawing cards and I keep getting the same message for you guys. Yeah, there's definitely this element where you have to just kind of go back and kind of re-examine, everything that I manifested right now. How am I potentially robbing myself blind? How has me potentially just moving super fast at the speed of light and just thinking that alone is going to be enough to manifest what I really want? How is that actually not creating the life that I want? So Yeah, kind of intense for the Capricorns out there, but that's what the card said. So, you know, I think it'll be a good opportunity for you guys to just simply talk it out with somebody. You know what I mean? Family member, therapist, something like that. So, all right. Now we are moving on to Sagittarius. This is happening in your seventh house. So this is all about relationships, especially with the Juno energy too. Some of you guys, if you're married, this can definitely feel like a renewal in your marriage in many ways. No matter how long you guys been together, it can actually offer this nice renewal. Now remember, these energies are still squaring over to all the Pisces energy, right? Which is happening in your fourth house. So there's definitely like this sort of home element too. Where it's like, oh, does this person feel like home? I think that's what Sagittarius is asking himself when it comes to relationships. Does this person feel like home? Does this person feel like home? Now, if you aren't in a relationship and you're not necessarily looking, this can just be, this could be a job aspect. This can just be, it could be your home actually too. It's like, does this feel like home? Like, if you're single and you're living by yourself, and it's like you kind of look around your place, your home, your apartment, whatever it is, your dwelling. Y'all see Leo back here playing with the string? Y'all see Leo? Say hi. Leo, say hi. Anyways, yeah. So, you want to look around? It's like, is this the kind of home that I would want to bring someone to? Can I like? Is this the kind of home where, you know, I can see myself with someone else potentially moving in? Some of you guys might actually have someone about to move in, and then you're like, crap, I got to do this, I got to change that, because all of this is reflective of who I am, but is reflective of who I am when I'm with somebody too. That's the thing that Sagittarius is asking themselves. So whereas a lot of signs when it comes to this energy, especially if you are single and looking, or you are dating someone but haven't moved in, whatever like that, or you maybe I've been dating for like a few months or something like that. Some of you guys, Sagittarius, whereas most people I would say to proceed with caution, Sagittarius, don't blow this whole thing up. Sagittarius will like run away and like ghost. They're kind of like Aquarius when it comes to that. So like, don't just like automatically write the person off too, right? Just because they're probably different from everyone else that you've dated in the past. But Sagittarius honestly has commitment issues. And it makes sense. Scorpio is your 12th house. So it makes sense that you guys have commitment issues, right? Sagittarius, we have the card of the Hierophant in reverse. Hierophant in reverse. I also have the Two of Cups in reverse. And then I also have the Six of Swords in reverse. What did I just say? I just said to not give up on this person. The Six of Swords normally would be like going away and actually ghosting, but it's actually in reverse. So it's like, stay put. You don't have to go anywhere. The Two of Cups, you're connecting with someone right now, and it can be very beautiful, but it's like the Hierophant. Maybe there's this sort of element where, well, see, these cards are all reversed. So it's almost like you could read them all upright. So it's like you may be listening to a higher authority figure a little bit too much right now, potentially. There's also the balancing act. It was like, maybe there's a higher authority figure. It's like, are you sure you really want to be with that person? I don't know. They're different from everyone else that you dated, blah, blah, blah. They might say all these different things. It could also be like, they're different from everyone else that you dated before. I think that you should go for this. I think you should go for it. But it's like, you got to trust your intuition on this one, Sag. Whether it's a person, a job, or something like that, don't ruin a good thing. Sagittarius can really ruin a good thing right now. Yeah, we have the Seven of Swords in reverse too. Ain't no one robbing you blind. You're not being robbed of an experience. Don't run away from this. Sagittarius, please do not ruin a good thing right now, because you actually have something that's really, really good that's brewing and stuff. And if you kind of go into like your old ways, just like, just think that you know it all, because Sagittarius are kind of know it alls. And I'm a Sag rising and progressed Sag sun too, right? So it's like, this energy is hitting me as well. But yeah, don't go ruin a good thing right now, Sag, because this actually is something that's very beautiful. Just stay put and, know that everything's going well, right? That person might actually be the one, That's not to say it's going to come without its challenges, right? But then that's the thing. It's like the moment that becomes like really, really challenging, Sagittarius can have this propensity to just like dip out. Some Sagittarius will hold on, mind you, because it's like that super hopeful, jovial kind of energy, happy-go-lucky. But yeah, don't psych yourself out with this one, Sag. You actually are in a really good place right now. So, all right, Scorpio, Sun and rising. This is going to be happening for you in your 8th house, right? New moon in your 8th house, and the house that your ruling planet rules, right? So you're gonna kind of feel at home with this new moon, right? Everyone's gonna kind like, you're gonna feel at home. So there's gonna be like this new fresh perspective on your investments. It's gonna be this new refreshed perspective on these sort of desires. Your desires might actually be shifting, or you might have like a new perspective on desires that you already have, right? So new moon in Gemini in the 8th house for Scorpio, conjunct. Ooh, some of you guys actually got your happily ever after. Some of you guys actually got married too, Jim. Like some of you guys actually got married during this new moon. You know what's interesting too? My wife, she works at the local like magistrate court here, and they do like weddings, like the court weddings, whatever like that. And on Friday, she said that there were a lot of weddings, right? Doesn't really surprise me, honestly. So some of those people, I'm sure there's some of those people that were Scorpios and stuff too, right? So there's definitely this sort of happily ever after kind of feeling that Scorpios are going to be having, like maybe with like a partner, something like that they finally like found the one, or they finally actually like feel like this could be like, if you're with someone, this is sort of be like that aha moment, like, wow, look at this beautiful thing that we've created. Now it's the cups energy, so it's not necessarily, you might not necessarily have the biggest house or the nicest cars and all that sort of stuff, but your relationship is solid. Your relationship, the foundation of it, like emotionally, is solid. And since there's going to be sort of mental aspect here as well with that new moon in Gemini, it's like both of those are going to meet. It's really pretty cool. We also have the 7 of Cups. Interesting. We have the 7 of Cups. So there's like this element where we can kind of take it really in any direction. I'm thinking, Scorpios actually have a lot of like opportunity. They actually have choice right now too. I think Scorpios have been feeling like they don't really have a choice in the matter of what they want to manifest, but now they're going to start to feel like they actually have some choice. And we do have the 3 of Wands in reverse. So yeah, I think we're not pondering anymore. I say we because I'm a Scorpio, but it's like you're not pondering anymore on which direction to go. This is actually going to be like this opportunity where you actually choose your direction. You're not just looking out at the sunset anymore and just like in that deep introspective thought. This is sort of like you've already, in many ways, you probably have already made your choice. You've already have made your choice, and that's what's led to you feeling like this emotional fulfillment. So it probably also has to do with the fact that the South Node has been in your sign, and it's about to come out. So it's almost like you can see the promised land, if you will. Now it's about to go into your 12th house, which is Libra, which is all about relationships and stuff. So it's kind of interesting too. But similar to Sagittarius, but in a different way. Don't blow this up, because there's not really a need to do that. Like I said, with that South Node that's about to come into Libra and stuff. So don't blow up a good thing. I'm going to draw one more card for you guys. So we have the 6. There's a lot of cup energy. This is 6 of Cups in reverse too. So that's the card of nostalgia, but it being reversed, there's this element where it's like, we definitely don't want to necessarily get fixated on. I think this is sort of thing where I think the childhood dream, because that's what I'm kind of getting. That's like this whole childhood dream that we might have had, that it may not necessarily be it may have not necessarily be what we thought it was going to come, or maybe the way that it manifested may have not manifested the way that we thought it would. But ultimately, it still led to us being, it still led to you, Scorpio, feeling emotionally fulfilled and feeling like you actually have some options and stuff too. So, no, not a bad thing at all. I think this is just it's a realization for Scorpio, like this new, refreshed perspective on the depth of their life, the depth of their life, and like how it can really feel like this emotional fulfillment, how you can really feel like, the people that you invested in, the projects that you invested in have really given back to you, even though it didn't necessarily turn out the way that you thought it was going to be, like when you were a child. Look at how far you've come, Scorpio. Look how far you come. So don't get caught up too much on the past. Don't get too caught up on just gazing into the sunset and wondering which way to go. Choose a direction. I think the cool thing about this too is that it's not like if you choose one direction and then you worry like, oh, I wonder if I should have taken that one. You could take that one too later on. It's sort of like Scorpio is sort of like in an open world game right now where there's like no set direction on what way to start and which way. Like there's no like set sequence either. That's also Saturn. That's of course Saturn that just went retrograde in your fifth house, right? Pisces. So there's like no set sequence and no set timing on how to explore this, but you can actually explore all these different things. It's like Scorpio. All right, I'll take for me for example, right? I have several different things that I want to do, right? There's no necessarily set sequence, and I can actually still experience all these different things that I want to do. I just have to trust the divine timing of it all, right? So it's like, yes, you can actually have your cake and eat it too, Scorpio. Just trust the divine timing of the universe. So, all right. Libra. This is going to be in your ninth house. Your ninth house. Libra, some of you guys with this energy with Juno, some of you guys might have gotten married to someone that is way, way outside what you normally would have, right? Maybe you actually got married to someone from a foreign country. That could be a possibility for Libra too, right? Some of you guys might actually have moved all the way to like a new state or something like that. Maybe to a new country too. So all right. New moon Gemini Libra. It's almost like you're learning a second language, like a second way of thinking, and that's going to bring about all of this new energy and new ways to manifest. Some of you guys are actually going to be learning the love language of a partner or a friend, because it's not just with like lovers that we like as far as love languages, right? It's friends, it's bosses. Some of you guys are actually going to be learning the love language of other people around you, and then you're going to realize that, oh, maybe all these different like mishaps and miscommunications, maybe it's because I just didn't understand what they were trying to tell me. Libra, you also have the Knight of Swords. It is upright though. We have the Knight of Swords. Libra, I also have the Page of Coins in reverse, followed by, we're getting a lot. So we gotten all these cards before. So Libra, you are definitely tied up with some of these other signs too. You definitely are tied up with some of these signs. Knight of Swords, Page of Coins, and we have the Seven of Swords in reverse. Yeah. Libra, this is definitely an interesting energy. I am definitely feeling like you have actually reached a level of calm in your life. Like you've actually like are mentally committing yourself to a new decision and a new path with the Knight of Swords upright. The Page of Coins in reverse is sort of like you're wanting to manifest these things and you're like becoming a student of manifestation, and it's not really happening as fast as you want to. That's because of the Seven of Swords, but it's reversed. So it's like you're not even being backstabbed anymore. You're not even being robbed anymore. It's like the robbing has already happened, right? You've already acknowledged that maybe you invested too much time at a particular place or something like that, maybe even a particular belief. But now it's like you reach this level of calm. The storm has already passed, is what I'm hearing, that you actually are in this level of calm, and now you're finally ready to move forward. Like you have, like your mind is clear. right? This is like a new belief in yourself, a new belief that you can actually move forward and create the life that you want. Oh yeah, absolutely. We got the Knight of Wands upright too. Yeah, you're moving forward. You are achieving a victory. The storm has already passed. The only reason why the storm may come up is because you keep going back into that same old thought paradigm, and that's old thought pattern. And that's also going to be the danger too with a lot of these, like with Pluto, like going back into Capricorn. It's like there's going to be like this like pulls like to put you back in the old thought paradigm, but you don't have to do that. The storm is over. You're moving forward, Libra. You have clear thought. You have a clear conscience. Your mind is clear. Keep it that way, and realize that you're moving towards a much better tomorrow. That's awesome, Libra. That's honestly one of the more simple ones too. It's like the storm has already passed, Libra. Move forward. No need to cry over spilled milk. All right. Virgo. Virgo, this is happening in your 10th house. So new, fresh perspective when it comes to like, your career, the things that you are building in your life. With the Juno there, Virgos have definitely been married to their work and their job and stuff like that. I think this is sort of going to offer Virgos a fresh perspective on, you know, if being married to their career in a certain way is still actually benefiting them. You're welcome, Willow. You're very welcome. So Virgo, what do we have for you guys? Oh, Virgo, we have the Sun. We have the card of the Sun, followed by the Chariot in reverse, followed by the World card in reverse. So we have the card that you actually ruled. They have the World card. Yeah, I actually am seeing that, Virgo, you actually are kind of laxing up a bit here. It's like you've created this whole thing. You've created this life in many ways, and you are enjoying it's time for you to actually enjoy the fruits of your labor, Virgo. This is almost sort of like a decoupling in many ways from the 10th house. A decoupling, not in the sense that you are like divorcing this aspect, and you're not nice. Like you're not. I'm not saying that you need to like leave your job or like leave your career behind, all this sort of stuff. I'm saying that this is time for you to actually delegate some of those responsibilities to the next generation. You know, Virgo, this is time for you to delegate some of those responsibilities to that next generation, because you already have arrived. You've created this amazing thing. But I think if you continually just like keep going the way that you're going, you will burn yourself out, Virgo. So this is a time for like you to like seriously like chill out and rest, especially with Saturn that just went retrograde in your 7th house. This is time for you to like kind of chill out and rest. And I got the Devil card in reverse for you guys too. So yeah, the way that you really want to go is to not be so detail oriented when it comes to your career, not trying to figure out all the details and have everything right, because maybe I think you guys have been feeling like you have to do everything in order for things to work, in order for the world to keep turning. You have to know all the details. You have to keep going. You have to do all the things. But this is saying you don't have to do all those things anymore, that you can actually trust. I think that's a huge thing here, is that there's a trust factor. But this is, like I said, New Moon and Gemini. So rely on the youth, rely on other people to pick up where you're wanting to put down. You're wanting to put down certain things, and not engage with certain responsibilities as much. Virgo, you create this beautiful world, and you can be a teacher too. That's the other great thing about this. There's like sort of a teacher energy to this as well, but you just have to trust that someone else will be able to do it too. They may not necessarily do it the way that you do it, and I think that's the challenge that Virgo has, is that they have like all these details and stuff like that there's like it has to go this way. But if you hold fast to that and don't allow other people to give you like this new fresh perspective, you actually will realize that, shoot, this thing could actually work even better. I think this is actually like an upgrade when it comes to, like, if you like own a business or something like that, or just in general in your life. This is a sort of upgrade. So allow the upgrade to happen. Allow the upgrade to happen. And yes, that means that you're going to have to rest a little bit and chill out a little bit. And that's okay. It's okay to kind of chill out and rest a little bit. So, all right. So, where are we at now? We're on Leo. All right. So, Leo, this is going to be in your 11th house. I got to finish this up soon because we are actually about to go eat. So, Leo, this is going to be in your 11th house. What do we have for you guys? Fresh perspective when it comes to your relationship with the collective in many ways, I would say that. We have the Ace of Coins in reverse. We have the Ace of Coins in reverse. We have the Page of Swords in reverse. Followed by the High Priestess. Oh, wow. So, yeah, trust your intuition with this. I think what's happening here with Leo is that you're spending too much time focusing on the opinions and the sort of input from people that honestly aren't worth your time, Leo. That's what I'm saying. You're worried. This is oh my gosh. Leo, be the king, be the queen. Don't worry yourself about uh the worries of, other people that don't understand what it's like to be royalty. Like, this is like, trust your own gut and trust your intuition. It's like there's this element where the mob wants, like, this mob mentality wants to rule your energy. Don't give in to the mob. That's what the Page of Swords and the Knight of Coins reverses. They don't have the full picture. They don't understand. They don't know the things that you do. So keep being you. That's honestly all I can say with Leo. Just keep being you, right? And if people trying to put you into a certain box, whatever like that, no, that ain't about it. So, like, this is in your 11th house. So there's still this element where you want to connect with the collective, but it's by being who you are unabashedly, unapologetically, that connects you with the right people. And you find yourself vibing, like Aquarius, like I said, it's it's like two waves. So that they're vibrating, they're matched up. So, like, this is, yeah, just vibe, be you. Don't listen to the opinions of people that, it's like there are going to be people that are going to try and give you advice that are honestly kind of way below your standard, giving you advice on different things that it's like, wait, why are you giving me advice? If anything, I should be the one giving you advice. So don't worry about all the opinions of all these other people. Yeah, we have the Five of Cups in reverse. So yeah, definitely don't concern yourself with what these people think, right? If you find yourself almost even taking the advice of so many other people around you, maybe go the other way a little bit, depending upon what it is. I would definitely just say, Leo, just be yourself. You don't have to necessarily listen to what everyone else is saying. This is definitely an element to where it's like we can get so caught up on the opinions of other people that don't really necessarily matter. Like, Leo, this would probably be a good time to even do like a detox from social media, because you may start to receive, different criticism on social media. Don't get caught up on that, because these people, they don't know you. They're not in your life. They're just a weird little profile on the internet, and don't give it more power than it needs to be. Just let it be like a simple, just let it be like that. Don't concern yourself with all of that stuff. Just be you. If the king and queen was so worried about every little worry that their people had, their kingdoms and queendoms would be run into the ground immediately. The king has to have a higher perspective. The king has to have a higher perspective. If they're so worried about the collective in that way, in that fashion, then yeah, you don't want to do this whole mob rule type of deal. Trust your intuition. Trust that you know what you're doing, right? Leo, why you gotta be all this? You should be like this. Why are you shining so bright? Why are you wearing all those colors? Just be the same as everyone else. It's like, no, screw that. Screw that. All right. And we're at Cancer. We're at Cancer. All right. Cancer, this is in your 12th house. So this is a new spiritual perspective, a new spiritual revival, if you will. So this is the hidden zone. So really, and since it's the 12th house, it has a little bit of element of everything in it. So definitely a wild card kind of energy as far as like how this will affect you, Cancer. You are coming up on your birthday period too. So Cancer, what do we have? We have the Eight of Wands in reverse this time. So there's definitely this sort of connection with Capricorn. Then you have the Lovers in reverse. Uh-oh. And then we also have we have the Four of Wands in reverse. Oh man, some of you guys might be getting a divorce. Like Eight of Wands is like this energy that's moving forward. Now it's stopping. The Lovers in reverse and the Four of Wands in reverse. I want one more card. Oh, yeah, we have the Five of Pentacles. Some of you guys are actually divorcing some aspects of your life, right? That has made you feel like the Five of Pentacles. That's made you feel like you're outside of the promised land. You have Cancer. What is going on? What happened, Cancer? I want to draw one more card for you guys. Yeah, we have the Six of Cups in reverse. Yeah, something definitely did not turn out the way that you thought it was going to, and it's just you're feeling like even the reverse. So the reversal energies, it could be like a divorce, but it also could be like you're just going into a major review period. I think because things are starting to slow down. You know, you're kind of reviewing the Lovers card energy, and you're reviewing the Four of Wands energy, right? As far as like the marriage and the celebration and stuff like that. You're reviewing all this because you are feeling like you're kind of left out right now. You're kind of feeling left out. You definitely have FOMO right now, the fear of missing out. And you're trying to figure out why that is. I think it's because some sort of idealistic dream that you had before, whether it was when you were a kid or just simply when you were younger, didn't quite turn out the way that you wanted to. So this new moon is going to offer some fresh perspective. There's definitely going to be some sort of divine intervention with this too, because it is the 12th house energy. So just be on the lookout for that too. And there's this sort of connection with Capricorn as well, because like I said, we do have the Eight of Wands in reverse, whereas they've been like go, 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 go. Things have already slowed down for you, and you already are kind of seeing the writing on the wall, if you will, as far as like, what you have manifested and what's come about and stuff too. So, Cancer, just, I would say just, talk it out, talk it out with the universe, write it out, kind of chill out. Maybe this will be a good time to kind of even rest a little bit, and maybe not to take things super, super seriously, because I think you already know what's ending. This doesn't necessarily have to be a person. This could be a home. This can be your job. This could be different aspects. This is 12th house energy, so it's very, it can be kind of sporadic, and it could be like a wild card kind of energy. I think really what's going to help you, Cancer, is the Saturn retrograde, which is happening in your 9th house. So now that it's retrograde in your 9th house, when it comes to like your belief structure, now that's going into this review period, this is going to give you an opportunity to really refresh that aspect and to really kind of believe in yourself again, believe in love again, whether it's with a person or just with a passion or life in general too. So if you have a Cancer out there, go hug your Cancers, check in on your Cancers, right? Check in on that energy. Sure, this would be a great opportunity for you to talk to your mom, maybe even rekindle your relationship with your mom. I think that's what's going to help you during this time, because I think this is also dealing with the fact that the feminine energy is kind of slowing down in general, right? So it's like, Venus was in your sign and you really wanted to feel good and receive things, but it was just a little tough because Venus was not really in the greatest energy. It was getting hit from a lot of different angles. So yeah, kind of a tough go, Cancer, admittedly. But yeah, just keep moving forward. Still know that you can still create the life that you really want. And just because things may not necessarily be going the way that you want to, that you can still make it. You'll still be good. I'm gonna draw one more card tarot wise for the whole collective, and then we're gonna go ahead and end this live. But I definitely appreciate you all for joining me on this. I will eventually put timestamps in the description so you can go directly to your sun and your rising sign. And if you want to check it for your moon sign, you can check it for that as well. But mainly sun and rising is what this was for. So, but for the whole collective, I have the card. I have the King of Wands in reverse. I also have the Knight of Wands in reverse. And I also have the Queen of Coins in reverse. So anytime that you get a bunch of reversal cards, you can read them either way. So yeah, there's definitely, so this is in many ways, you have like the sun energy with the Knight and the King, and then you have the Queen of Coins there too. So there's definitely this earthly aspect to it. This is definitely this element where, I mean, anytime you have like court cards, this also could be dealing with people, but I think this is really about like the King of Wands, and you have the Queen of Coins. It's almost sort of like they're trying to get on the same page with things. Maybe they're actually are married to each other too. That's the other part that I can see. And then the Knight of Wands is like their son. In many ways, I'm gonna draw one more card. Yeah, we have the Six of Pentacles upright. We have the Six of Pentacles upright. We are all wanting to give our best self right now, but it's a little tough because we're trying to all get on the same page of things. And this Knight of Wands, I almost feel like they're trying to balance between like, do I go the Queen of Coins route or do I go the King of Wands route? Which route do I go? Which aspect do I trust right now? And they're trying to like balance this energy out. So this new moon in Gemini is definitely a major balancing act right now, where it's like, I think it's like we have the power from the Knight, we have the power from the Queen as well, and we're trying to figure out necessarily which power do I use? Which power do I use? Use both powers. It's both of the powers together that's really going to propel us forward. We don't have to necessarily pick between the King of Wands or the Queen of Coins if we're exhibiting this Knight of Wands energy. We can actually use both of them. But you see how like in this picture right here, right? He's pretty calm, but he's trying to make the decision, right? He hasn't actually given anything out yet. So there's a sort of aspect where it's like we're kind of holding our hands, wanting something. And it's like you can have both. You know what I mean? But we can't really give ourselves to this world if we aren't acknowledging all of the gifts that the universe has given us, be it that we perceive it to be positive or negative. So remember, I got the card of soul, time, and belief. So this is really about believing in ourselves, believing that while we are limited in this body, while it will die and decay, we are still ultimately timeless. And we are all still true divine sparks of the infinite. That's going to do it for this. I know I ran a little bit longer. I know I gotta actually head out because we're about to go eat. So hopefully we're not too late to lunch. So, but anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this New Moon in Gemini weekend astrology forecast. I will post the timestamps later, probably when I get back from lunch and stuff like that. But y'all all take care, stay blessed, and utilize this energy to the best of your ability and use it to create new paradigms of thought that will create a whole new world for yourself. So I'll see y'all later. Take care, stay blessed. Peace out.